Getting a little bit. Good morning, everyone. We're getting a little bit of a later start today, but maybe at the end you all can say hi, hi. But we're going to start off with our Monday morning miracle call. It's the best thing going on Monday morning. So I hope you're here with us because we really need you here. And if you're new, we need you newbies because I'm some of you newbies probably haven't tried the patches yet, but probably most of you have. And if you have stories, we really welcome you because what this call is about is everybody telling of their testimonials of what has happened to them. And it's very, very special call. By the way, I'm Jerry Ziegenfuss calling in from Florida and just welcoming everybody in. But like I said, you're going to hear phenomenal stories this morning, but from so many people that have been having results. And we do have what we call one patch wonders, but that doesn't always happen. So please, I'm a lifer, but I'm going on 5 years, and I always have something new that is making my life better. So we are a family, and we like to hear from all you. So if you're new and don't know, at the bottom of your screen, there's a reaction button, and you'll see raise your hand. Please hit that button. It'll put you on my screen up here so I can call on you. And if you don't mind leaving your hand up till you're done, everybody likes to watch when you're talking to them and let them know what's going on. It's really very helpful. And then you can put your hand down. But we like to keep your testimonials to about 30 seconds to a minute. And I'm sure you can do it because a lot of times when people are talking, we don't need to know that you met somebody down at the grocery store, or we don't know that you were running to do an errand. Tell us what's happening, what did happen. Sometimes there's some extra circumstances that you want to throw in, but if you keep it down to the facts of what's going on and telling the people the marvelous results you're getting, you'll be able to get it down probably in a minute. So our first 15 minutes, we like to keep it to X39. That is the patch. It's the go-to patch. That's the patch you want everybody to start on. It's going to give results. It might not be the timing that you want. It took 3.5, 4 years for months for me to get relief where I was able to sit down. But I stuck with it because it was working on my heart. And I think that was much more important than where I wanted it to be. So also with the X39 in those first 15 minutes, if you have Celergize testimonials, we want to hear about those because some of them have been phenomenal. So then after the 15 minutes, you can chime in with the other patches. That's okay. But we like to stay compliant. What that means, do not name diagnoses. That's what the doctor does when he tells you what's wrong with you. And if you're really not sure before you get on the call, go to ChatGPT or one of the other bots and just say, you have this condition. How can I explain it where I'm not mentioning the medical condition? And it'll give you a way to tell it to us. So anyways, we don't claim to treat, cure, or diagnose any condition, but we are treating these symptoms that are nagging with us for probably years. So if you don't mind, start putting your hands up. This is the time to come on in, tell us your story. And when you don't see a hand up, maybe you can go into a second story. But, I always come prepared with stories for everything when I don't get these hands up. So I would like to see some hands of people. And I know I have some newbies on here that are getting results. Please don't be afraid to tell me about your results. And I will start because I am the person that is an animal person. I am a dog person. And I've used them on my dogs. I put the use patches on the back of the collar. And they have eliminated buying drugs for my dogs with those conditions where the eyes keep all the white stuff coming out of it. And we humans have that condition too. We have problems when we go outside with the flowers and this and that. The X39 is a really good one for that. So I will start with that, and I will lead on to Stacy. Please unmute and tell us what's on your mind this morning.
Good morning.
Good
My
morning.
mother-in-law, she had this raised bump on her large toe on her, I think it was her right toe. And I kept telling her, put the X39 on, put the X39. Well, it got to be so bad that she could barely put her shoes on. So she goes, I'm going to do it. So she put it on. And I think it was literally after 1 or 2 days, she could put her shoes on and it started going down. So
Wow. What a result. Geez. And do the bump. She didn't go to the doctor or anything. She just, okay.
no, she's
Yeah.
one of these. She's kind of like a man. She'll wait and wait and wait till it's so bad. But I have another one, but I'll have to wait till after the 15-minute mark.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, you know what? We're going to break the rules, Stacy. Nobody's bold and brave. So this is only for Stacy, nobody else. Tell me what else is on your mind, Stacy.
Okay, a friend of mine, he's in his 70s. He started getting off the bed about 2.5 weeks ago, and he got a cramp in one of his legs. And he reached down, and while he reached down, he fell off the bed. And because of that, he broke the bottom right rib. And it wasn't a bruise, it was a break. So I got up with his wife and I said, please try these patches again. So during the day, she's putting the X39 on him. And then at night, she's putting the ice waves. So I taught her how to do the clockwork and all that. And about 4 days after that, she called me and she said, we need more patches. So we did a big order. And she goes, God, I don't want him to be without these. And then was it Saturday? I texted just to check on them and asked how he was doing. And she said that at breakfast, they were just talking. He's like, I can't explain this, but this is working. So
Yeah,
that's my testimony.
that is
That's
wonderful.
their
Yeah.
testimony.
Yeah.
So and just
And let
reach
me,
out. Just reach out to extend a hand, extend your love towards people and just to help.
all right. Well, let me just go on to what Stacy just talked about a cramp. Um, that X39 does wonders. I was driving and I have a stick shift. And I have told this once a long, long time ago. And it was traffic. I had to keep my foot in and out. And all of a sudden, I got a cramp in my ankle part. And I whipped my X39 off the back of my neck. And in between stopping, I got my X39 down there. And believe it or not, in about 15 seconds, my cramp was gone. So, anyways, remember if you're having an experience and you have that patch on and it's in another area, try it. Everything you just try to see if it works. So, please just take that pack and put it there. So, good morning, Kate. Come on in, unmute.
Well, good morning. I'm going back to the very, very beginning back in May of 2022. X39 to the rescue. I just started wearing it. I had the most amazing feeling of well-being. The first 24 hours, I kept almost pinching myself and saying, can it possibly be? Can that possibly be? And it was. And then with the next few days in that first week, those lines that go straight across your forehead, I had two deep lines going all the way across horizontally. And then the two that go straight up from in the middle, they call them the 11s. Those melted away in just days. And there's lots more that's happened in all these years. But those were such thankfulness moments that I'll never forget.
Wow. Such a response. Everybody listening, I hope. Thank you so much, Kate. Tammy Lou, please unmute.
Hello, good morning, everybody. I wanted to share, if I put my screen on for my video, you can't hear me, so that's why I'm
Yeah,
off. So,
that's okay.
I've been on the patches for over 5 years now, but I had a girlfriend's daughter visit me yesterday, and she walked through the door, and she was coughing and coughing and coughing and sneezing and coughing. And I'm like, oh my goodness, now I live in Maine, so we're all catching colds right about now. It's really cold out. And so I just said, well, she didn't know anything about the patches, zero. She knew that I was doing some sort of, new technology, light therapy thing. But so I put a X39 on C7. And she's, like a few minutes later, she goes, oh my goodness, I'm feeling better. and she still felt like she had a little sore throat. So I did put another patch on. And I know we're just talking about X39, but I put it right on her throat, where right next to the Adam apple, where it was sore for her. And within a couple minutes, she stopped coughing. She stayed for about an hour and a half, never coughed again. She goes, Tammy, I've been coughing for 2 months. 2 months since I've been coughing. And so when she left, she was a happy lady. She said, I'm going home and telling my mom about this. She's gonna be getting a call tomorrow, she said.
Yeah.
So,
And thank you so much for coming on here. I heard you last night on Doc Talk last night, Tammy. So at
oh,
1:15, we will tell the people what the other patch was. It's an
okay.
amazing.
Okay. Thank
And
you.
it's the
Thank
right
you.
place to put it. I use it
Uh,
all the time when you have sore throats. So thank you, Tammy.
Absolutely. Thank you for letting me share. Thanks.
Oh, thank you for coming in. Okay, please unmute RMS. I'm guessing it might be Rosemary, but I'm not sure. Please unmute.
Okay, I'm trying. Hopefully it's acting up. Yeah, it is Rosemary. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, this testimony is going to be from me, on me. I had to have back surgery the end of February, and this was really right in the spine. And anyway, after the surgery, it was supposed to be stay overnight one night and then go home. And they didn't work out that way for me. They wound up, the doctor says, I want you to go to a rehab that is specifically to the hospital. I don't want you to go into an outside rehab. So I wound up having 13 days in the hospital. The spasms were so excruciating, I could barely move. My head was about the only thing I could move that didn't kill, just hurt. And I don't react well, Dan, I have to admit, to any of that anesthesia, any of that kind of stuff. And he was quite surprised how I was reacting. But anyway, even in the rehab, I was on muscle relaxers, painkillers around the clock, all this sort of thing. And I kept saying, I can't eat when I'm this nauseated. So I got so weak. And then once I got across the street to the regular rehab, I said, if I can get past this hump, but I couldn't get to my patches. And, doctors and nurses are asking questions, and you can't always, I didn't have the energy to explain patches to them. So about the 9th day, I was able, when I was getting up, to get to my patches, and I started putting X39 and X49 on. And within 2 days, they were saying, we cannot believe how quick you turned around. It's like night and day between 2 days ago. We can't believe this. So by the time I left the hospital, they said, okay, you can walk independently, you can, all these things I could do. But I came home to in-home therapy. And this morning, as the lady was leaving, I said, what can my expectations be? And she said, every person that has seen you has put on here, she's so far above the curve. She said, where you are, we never get that far with our in-home with people that have had the kind of surgery you had. She said, so you're what we call a high achiever. And I thought, I'm a patcher.
Thank you so much. And you hear all that. And we hear that so much when people are having something done with them and they're adding the patches and they are, rehabbing very, very quickly. So it's good to you, Rosemary. And thanks for coming on and sharing. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks. Peter, please come on in, unmute.
Well, good morning, good evening,
Morning.
good afternoon, wherever you happen
Yes.
to be, planet Earth. Great to be here. I've used the X39 for going on 6 years, and I have had phenomenal results in many ways, but I'll address just one that is top of mind right now. I've had periodontal issues for over 30 years, and I have an amazing hygienist, a standalone hygienist I go to now, and she's pretty aggressive. Her scraper is two-bladed, both sides are sharp, because she believes that you need to scrape any of the old tissue off of your gums, as well as scrape the tooth and root of the tooth. So pretty aggressive, and then she uses the ultrasound cleaner as well. And ever since I started going to her about a year and a half ago, she's always blown away by the fact that she cannot get my gums to bleed, no matter how aggressive she gets in her cleanings. In addition to that, I had a cleaning about a month ago, and she measured my periodontal pockets, and I was blown away. Forever, my pockets depth ranged anywhere from like a 3 to a 6. And
Wow.
almost every pocket now, with just a couple of exceptions, is like a 1 or a 2.
Wow. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. That is just
Yeah.
amazing. So great work. So yeah, we need our teeth. We need them forever. So that's great that that's one of the results you're getting. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
My
So
pleasure.
yes, thanks for coming in. Now, since there are no more hands up, I will guess, I don't know how many of the 137 people on here know about the fall I took, and I ended up fracturing my pelvis in 2 places, and it was pretty bad. I went to the hospital and never had to take any pain drugs. And that is because we're past the quarter after. I was using ice waves. When I was lying in the driveway, I took 3 pairs of them and put them on. And that's what helped me there. I am not telling you when I moved to get an x-ray, it didn't hurt. That's not what I'm telling you. I don't do drugs, so I was able to manage with no drugs. But because I had been on the patches, especially the X49 also, since it had started, my bones started growing back in 3 weeks. And my orthopedic guy says, that's not right, because he was not even going to take an x-ray. So let me tell you, sticking with the patches, having them on as a precursor is even better, because your body's already up and going, and not having to take drugs for that whole situation, and having my both fractures in new bone in 6 weeks was wonderful. So anyways, I am ready for Rita. Come on in.
Let me unmute and
You're
show
there.
up. Okay, this is an old chair. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Rita.
Okay, great. So, I started X39 about 5.5 years ago. Prior to that, for 3 or 4 years, I had a wonky heartbeat that was picked up every time on my physical. 6 months after I started X39, wonky heartbeat has gone away and has never come back.
Congratulations. We are glad of that. Thank you. Like she said, stick with it, everybody. You're going to get there. And since we are past the quarter after, I want to make sure everybody knows that the patch that Tammy Lou had given to somebody was glutathione. And that's the patch that's really good for sore throats and everything like that. And that's what got the cough done almost immediately, as Tammy Lou says. So, Kate, I'll get right to you. But then, Christy, come on in, unmute.
Hi, I wanted to share with I had some knee pain a while back, and so my friend Stacy brought the ice wave patches over, and she put the tan patch on the most pain on my knee and did the clock method around, and it still wasn't feeling any better. And then she just moved it over to the other knee, opposite one that wasn't hurting, and all of a sudden the pain just stopped.
Wow.
So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thanks for sharing. I hope everybody's listening to what Christy just said. So anyways, I know, Kate, you're probably on the 15 after, have a different share. So come on in, Kate, and then we'll get to Beanie.
Okay, I've got a quick one that just happened 2 days ago. I was sitting in a coffee shop and I looked down and I commented, I said, "Oh my gosh, what a huge mosquito bite on the lower side of the my arm." And I'm like, I haven't been around any mosquitoes. I don't get it. And I didn't look at my arm anymore until I was getting ready to go to bed hours later. And I saw all these red bumps had gone across the top of my arm. And I don't know what it was, but I pulled out my Eon, my trusty Eon, the inflammation or the low inflammation lowering patch. And I just rubbed it, I turned it over to the plastic side, and I just rubbed it gently around and around and around. And then I affixed it to my arm. And you know what? It was only a few minutes before I saw all of these big, angry red bumps going down. So I don't know if it was, I don't know if it had to have been an internal reaction to something. It's going to stay a mystery. But the good news is Eon lowers 5 different types of inflammation. So get that out anytime things are going wrong. They're swollen, there's heat, they're red, it hurts, and you're going to be just absolutely amazed. And
Thank
it
you
didn't
so
come
much.
back.
Great. And the Eon and what she just did about rubbing it, a lot of people do that with some of the other patches, like up and down the legs and that really makes a difference. But even with when you're hurting, pain is caused by inflammation. So my husband walked right into the square of a dishwasher. It was bad. I sent him to get an Eon, put it on, and before he could come back, the pain was gone. So thanks so much for bringing up the Eon and its value to us, Kate. Beamy, come on in.
Hey, thanks, Jerry, for hosting.
You're
And
welcome.
thanks, everybody, for sharing. We love to hear your stories. So I have a couple quick things. One, a young boy who, these motor scooters that are the rage now, they're riding them everywhere. He took a big tumble and whacked out his knee. He could barely walk. This story comes through one of my brand partners whose friend, that's her son. So immediately the friend called my brand partner and said, "What do you have for this?" Because she knows she's into all health. So she sent her the X39, the IceWave, the Eon, put it on, and the boy, he couldn't walk. It was so tender. Within an hour and a half, he was walking, not completely, but he couldn't even move it. And now, a week later, they just ordered a package. The friend has a knee problem. The son wants more patches, so it worked out really well. And another thing that I'm noticing with people that have been on the X39 for a while and maybe have reached a plateau, I've recommended Celergize to supplement and be sure that they're getting the right minerals, because people may or may not be taking the right combination. And it's kind of like jump started their results again. So I'm just going to mention that if people are not on that, the minerals are so important.
Right. And thank you so much for bringing that up, Amy. Yeah, Celergize works really wonders with your daytime patches. Let me tell you, the daytime formula, and it makes them work better. So you're getting optimum results with it. So yeah, great share. No more hands, so I'll go with one with Gregory's grandson. He was sitting on the patio and on a lawn chair type metal chair and pulled it up and he put it on his toe. And he was in a lot of pain. And Gregory had asked him if he could put one of his Band-Aids on. And the little boy finally said yes. And when he put the X39 on that toe that the chair had squashed, the pain was almost gone immediately. So remember, X39 Eon, those pain fighters are really out there to help us. Tricia, please unmute. What do you have to tell us today?
Well, I have a client that has been a client for a while, and she's had great results with all the patches she's used. But recently, she told me that she tried the Silent Night, and it was the first time she'd been able to sleep without knee pain.
Oh, wow.
So apparently, it worked with all the others that she's been on for so long to give her a great night's sleep without the knee pain that she's been having.
Wonderful share. And I had a neighbor that we bumped into him. She says, I am so glad that the husband was getting the X39, but obviously y'all know if you're a customer plus, you get the little 10 packs. And she started trying the Silent Nights, like Tricia was saying, because she hadn't slept for years. And she said, it was a godsend. she says, I don't go without them now. So apparently they're really, really good for a lot of people. So thanks, Tricia. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Tammy Lou, do you have another one?
I do. I didn't see any hands up, so and I
That's
have tons
okay.
to share.
Yeah, no, that's
Like I
fine.
said, I've been on the patches for 5.5, almost 6 years now, and I've had a lot of results. So I try to every once in a while switch them up. I 3 years ago I had been on the patches for 2 years, a little plus, and I was outside working, and I'm barefoot. I'm a barefoot girl, okay, and so I'm outside doing this and that, and da 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 da. And I went to lift up something that was quite heavy, and it caught my toenail, and it ripped my toenail right off without even I didn't even realize what had happened. But anyways, I looked down. I knew it hit my toe. I looked down. My toenail is upside down in the grass. So I pick it up and I put it, I made sure there was no grass or dirt in it or anything, and I put it back on my toe. Well, when I pushed it down, I passed out. And when I woke up, there was still blood gushing everywhere, and I hobbled back to the house, cleaned it up a little bit, wrapped it up, because I wanted to leave my toenail on, right? So I patched it up, and I did put 3 different patches on there. I already had an X39 on my C7, but I put another one, X39, right on top of the toenail where I had wrapped it. On the other side, I put glutathione, and I put an Eon on. So I put all 3 of those patches on my toe. Within an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, there was no pain. And if you've lost a toenail, or even if you've cut your toenail too short, it hurts for weeks and weeks sometimes. So I was walking around within the hour, no pain. I got on Doc Talk that night and shared that story, and one of the doctors piped up and says, "You should have left it off, Tammy, because it's not going to grow back. You should have left it off. It's just going to fall off." Well, I have to say that I kept patching it for about a week, the way that I just shared with you, and my toenail turned all kinds of beautiful, pretty colors, but it never fell off. It grew out, and I cut it like every other toenail I have. I cut it until it was grown up. You can't tell. There's no ripples on it. I was blown away when that happened, and I shared it, and they're like, yeah. I can't believe that, Tammy. But it's true. I mean, I have pictures to prove it, but it was quite amazing to see it grow out and me clipping it like a regular toenail. So.
I had heard that one too. So yeah, thank you so much. Our patches are amazing. So just
They
put them
are.
on. Intuition is good. Intuition is good. So
listen
do
to
what
your
you want.
heart. Listen to your heart. Your heart will tell you what to do.
Okay. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much again. Kay, come on in. What do you have? I hope it's your heart story.
Yes, I thought for anybody that hasn't heard this story, I'll come back and share this. This was 6 months into wearing my X39 religiously, and I was having lots of things happen. And I had hoped that my knees would get stabilized. And I added the X49 to my regimen. So now I'm doing both of those patches for 3 more months. I go back to the specialist cardiologist, and he asked me questions that were about these 2 situations. They're electrical interruptions in the heartbeat. So there's 2 different chambers of the heart involved, 2 different types of experiences, and they were getting worse and worse. And I was to the point where they were causing me to pass out a lot, almost 100%. So I go up to 99% and fight it so hard because I thought I was going to die if I passed out. And it's pretty terrible living that way. You wake up every morning wondering, is this the day? Is this the day? So the good news is when that doctor looked up from verifying my recorded data and my story, he said, "Kate, we failed you in the procedure we did. It didn't work at all. but what you've done has worked. You do not have these two conditions anymore.
Yeah.
And
So,
my arms went up in the air like, victory or a touchdown. And I knew I had a story that would mean more to the people who also have these kind of conditions. I mean, I didn't even think as big as, gee, I wish my heart could get healed. I wanted my knees to get healed. And by the way, they did. And then even another year later, I found out that my born with really weird heart murmur wasn't there anymore. And my new cardiologist said, I've never known you to have a heart murmur. So I think that it might have been healed at the same time that the chambers of the heart were healed. And so this is just the most precious story. The having the feeling when you wake up in the morning that it could be the day that you don't become victorious over a
yeah.
condition. So now it's
Thank,
every day. I'm just yippee yahoo. I'm so glad to be here. Thank
oh,
you.
thanks for that. And okay, Roy, you're going to take us out today. I know you kept putting your hand up, and now it's your turn. Please come on in, and you'll be our last one today.
Oh, good morning. Thank you for that. After the last share, I appreciate that experience about the heart. Because over my experience, I had a heart attack back in 2006. I had a stent put in. In 2014, I was diagnosed being pre-diabetic. I overcame that, and in 2018, I got diagnosed with colon cancer, stage 2. And I went through a 33-day stay in the hospital. After that, my gastrologist told me, he said, well, Roy, it's 25% me, it's 25% medicine, it's 25% you, and it's 25% faith. And I said, and then he said, we have to seek balance. And I said, I felt a great partnership with him right there. But then as I moved along in my journey, the we became me. And he wasn't, of course, he's not available for counsel. So in 2024, a friend of mine, he introduced me to LifeWave. He told me about it. And I, in my research, I knew that the body had to have an ability to regenerate healthy cells. And nutrition was the best way to do that. I mean, minerals and vitamins. And the aspect of taking that 39, I started taking it, and I was doing my blood work with always this fear. The next time I go, I'm gonna probably get some bad news. And I did my blood panel last May 2025, and the doctor had never, I didn't even tell him I was on X39. And he said, Mr. Turner, he said, I don't know what you're doing, but your panels are great. And in fact, that pravastatin you've been taking since your heart attack, you don't have to take it so much anymore. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So anyway, I took it with a grain of salt, and I just kept plodding away. And just here recently, 2 weeks ago, me and my wife went back and got the second panel for blood work. And this time he said, your panels are amazing. Your PSAs are down, your sugar is about 80, you're 5.7 on your A1C. You're just amazing. So I consulted with AI on this. I put my panel work in, and even ChatGPT came back and said, Mr. Turner, based on your history, you're doing amazing for a 76-year-old person, And I've been swimming, swimming was my therapy after all of this. And I swim outside, so the weather's been kind of cold, but now last week I've been in the pool, and I started off real slow. I said, I'm only going to do like 20 laps. I got a 14-foot pool. And by the third day, I was up to 81 laps. And it's crazy because then mentally, my mind didn't feel fatigued. My body felt great. So, X39, X49, all the supplemental patches, Sologide, eating, it's just creating this homeostasis in my body that is
bringing your body back to homeostasis. Correct.
So thank you. Thank you so much for letting me share. And,
thank you so much, Roy. That's wonderful news for you. And if you're all listening, we all were listening to Roy. He is consistent. Okay. You have to be consistent. It's a cumulative effect. So you want to be there every day, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Roy's regiment with 39 and 49, they're a dynamic duo. So with the two of them, his stamina is being, brought up to snuff, and he has Celergize for the minerals and everything. So those three, Roy, are phenomenal. So good luck and keep on swimming. So anyways, it is Monday night. We have our community call tomorrow, 9 Eastern time. All of you that are brand partners, hope you're on there to listen to Robin and Gregory. And I don't believe there's any other announcements. So if you all want to unmute, I thank you for those that shared, and hope more of you get brave and put those hands up. Really would love to hear from you, because I know you all have great stories. You have to. So thank you.
Great call, Jerry.
Great
Thank you,
call.
Jerry.
Thank
Merry
you.
Monday. Merry
Bye-bye.
Monday.
Jerry.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Have a great rest of your
Thank
day.
you. You all have a
Thank you,
good one.
Jerry.
Keep
Appreciate you.
patching. Keep
Thank
patching.
you,
Stick shift sister.
Oh, there
Thank
you are,
you.
John. Nice to hear your voice.
Thank you.
Take
Have
care,
a great
everybody.
day,
Share your
everybody.
stories up in
Blessings.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.